In the sweltering heat of a Louisiana summer, 22-year-old Lila Moreau stood alone in the family cemetery, staring at the fresh mound of earth that now covered her grandfather's casket. The air smelled of magnolias and betrayal. As the last mourner drifted away from Bellefonte Plantation, the sprawling 500-acre estate that had been in the Moreau family since before the Civil War, Lila clutched the crumpled envelope in her pocket. Inside was the new will, read aloud just hours earlier by the family lawyer. Every acre, every dollar, every antique heirloom left to her Uncle Harlan and his spoiled son, Cousin Beau. Lila, the old man's favorite, the one who'd spent summers restoring the crumbling mansion and nursing him through his final illness, had been cut out entirely. Disinherited, the lawyer had said softly, avoiding her eyes. But as thunder rumbled over the bayou, Lila whispered to the grave, "This isn't over, Granddad. They think they've won the war. They don't know about your secret weapon." The Moreau family feud had simmered for generations, but it boiled over the day Elias Moreau died at 92. Bellefonte wasn't just a house, it was a dynasty. Sugarcane fields stretching to the horizon, oil leases pumping quiet millions, a collection of Civil War artifacts worth fortunes at auction. Elias had built it all from nothing after his own father gambled away the original fortune in the 1950s. He'd raised Lila after her parents died in a car crash when she was 8, teaching her the land's secrets, the family's history, and most importantly, how to fight dirty when cornered. Moreaus don't lose, he'd growl over bourbon on the veranda. We endure. Uncle Harlan, Elias's only son, had always been the black sheep. He'd fled to Houston in his youth, chasing oil money and fast living, leaving Elias to raise Lila alone. Harlan returned only when the money ran dry, bringing his wife Delilah, a sharp-featured Dallas socialite, and their son Beau, a 28-year-old trust fund playboy with a smirk that could curdle milk. Over the years, Harlan had wormed his way back, managing the plantation's books while Lila handled the heart, the restoration, the tours that kept tourists coming, the organic farming initiatives that modernized the profits. Elias praised Lila endlessly, calling her the future of Bellefonte. Harlan seethed in silence. The betrayal began subtly. In Elias's final months, bedridden with cancer, Harlan controlled access. Nurses reported confusion in the old man, sudden changes in mood. Lila was often turned away. He's resting, Cher, while Harlan spent hours behind closed doors. Whispers spread through Baton Rouge society. Harlan was forging a new will, pressuring his father in lucid moments with threats of nursing homes or cutting off funds. Beau, meanwhile, paraded girlfriends through the mansion, eyeing the silver like it was already his. The reading of the will in the plantation's grand parlor was a theater of cruelty. Family members, distant cousins hoping for crumbs, sat stiffly as the lawyer intoned Harlan's victory. Lila's share? A paltry $50,000 and a sentimental locket. Harlan's eyes gleamed with triumph. Beau snorted audibly. Guess hard work doesn't pay, he drawled. Delilah sipped sweet tea with a satisfied smile. That night, as fireworks popped distantly over the Mississippi for some forgotten festival, Lila packed a single bag and left Bellefonte under cover of darkness. She drove to New Orleans, checking into a cheap French Quarter motel under a false name. The war had escalated, and she was ready to fight. But Lila wasn't fleeing, she was regrouping. In her possession was the secret weapon Granddad had hinted at for years, a hidden safe in the plantation's attic, behind a false panel in the old nursery. Elias had shown it to her when she was 16, swearing her to secrecy. Inside were documents, original deeds, stock certificates, and most crucially, a handwritten codicil to his original will, dated just months before his death, reaffirming Lila as sole heir. He'd hidden it because Harlan's got eyes everywhere. But there was more, audio recordings on an old cassette player, Elias dictating his true wishes while lucid, ranting about Harlan's coercion attempts. If that boy tries to steal what's mine, Elias's gravelly voice crackled, use this to bury him. Lila couldn't just waltz back. The new will was filed, probate underway. Harlan had already changed the locks, posted security. She needed to escalate. From New Orleans, she began her campaign. First, she contacted a trusted family friend, Judge Clara Thibodeau. retired but still influential in Louisiana courts. Discreetly, over café au lait in a quiet Garden District spot, Lila played snippets of the recordings. Clara's eyes narrowed. This smells like undue influence, maybe forgery. But we need ironclad proof. Suspense built as Lila went undercover. She dyed her honey blonde hair dark, adopted glasses and a Cajun accent thicker than gumbo, and got a job as a maid through a temp agency Harlan used for the plantation's tourist events. Back at Bellefonte Incognito, she cleaned guest rooms by day, gathering intel by night. Overheard conversations in the kitchen, Harlan bragging about convincing Dad with pain meds, Beau plotting to sell artifacts on the black market, Delilah shopping for yachts online. The danger mounted. One evening, while dusting Harlan's study, Lila found the forged will draft, complete with Elias's shaky signature, practiced 100 times on scrap paper. She photographed everything with a hidden phone. But Beau caught her lingering, his suspicion aroused. "You look familiar," he sneered, cornering her in the hallway. Heart pounding, Lila played dumb, but that night, anonymous threats appeared, tires slashed on her beat-up rental car, a note under her motel door, "Leave or else." Lila's secret weapon deployed in phases. She leaked hints to local papers. The Advocate ran a teaser. Questions swirl around Moreau inheritance. Social media buzzed in Louisiana circles. #Moreau Feud trended locally. Harlan panicked, accelerating probate, but cracks showed. A former nurse came forward anonymously, describing how Harlan withheld pain relief to force compliance. The climax erupted during Bellefonte's annual Mardi Gras ball, a lavish affair drawing Louisiana elite. Harlan hosted to flaunt his victory, beads and jazz filling the mansion. Lila crashed it in a stunning emerald gown, hair restored to blonde, revealing herself dramatically on the grand staircase. Gasps echoed. "Uncle Harlan," she announced, voice carrying over the band, "I believe you have something that belongs to me." Chaos ensued. Harlan blustered, threatening to call security, but Lila played the recordings over the sound system, Elias's voice booming through the chandeliers. Guests froze as the codicil was projected on a screen, scanned documents irrefutable. The nurse testified live via video call. Beau lunged at the projector, but deputies, tipped off by Judge Thibodeau, were already there with warrants. The fallout was swift and merciless. Forensic experts confirmed the filed will's forgery, ink anomalies, signature inconsistencies. Charges rained down: fraud, elder abuse, conspiracy. Harlan and Delilah's assets frozen. Beau arrested for assault during the scuffle. The court invalidated the fake will, upholding Elias's true codicil. Bellefonte returned to Lila overnight. In the aftermath, Lila stood once more in the cemetery, but this time with purpose. She restored the plantation fully, turning it into a thriving ecotourism spot and museum honoring Louisiana's complex history. Harlan rotted in Angola prison, his oil dreams dashed. Beau flipped for a reduced sentence, testifying against his parents. Delilah fled to Dallas in disgrace. Lila's revenge wasn't just victory, it was legacy. She founded a foundation for elder rights, exposing family predators. At the reopened Bellefonte, tourists marveled at the artifacts, unaware of the war waged in its walls. On quiet evenings, Lila sat on the veranda with bourbon, toasting the stars. "We endure," she murmured, the bayou whispering back. The feud was over, the Moreau name stronger than ever. And in the hidden safe, now empty, lay the lesson: secrets are weapons, but truth wins the war.